Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called When Sister Soul Stole the Blues, Book 1 by Johan Twiss. It's been about a year since Gladys's husband unexpectedly died, and she's not really been herself. She doesn't teach anymore, she is closed up in her house most of the time, and doesn't really have any interest in doing much of anything. Her teenage daughter Dionne ends up filling in the blanks when necessary and just hopes that her mom's going to get better soon. But Gladys has a voice in her head that tells her to do some things, and those things direct her to a woman named Janice. And Janice is experiencing homelessness and lives on a corner nearby. Her voice is also to die for, and it turns out that Gladys and Janice are long-lost twin sisters. So as the story progresses and the voice tells them to go audition for a talent competition, they follow it. And along the way, they discover not only the strength they have inside of them, but that their connection runs even deeper than blood. This story is a really interesting take on how family and found family can work together to build each other up, especially in really challenging circumstances. So, as you can tell from the description itself, there's discussion of homelessness, there's discussion of a parental death, and also there's a lot of racism and interactions among various races within this book. So there's a lot to unpack as the story goes on, and in order to do that, the narrative progresses with two different storytellers. So you have Gladys and Dionne telling their versions of what's happening around them. So readers get some insight into what's going on from two different perspectives. Also, each chapter starts with a quote from some singers, which it's not overtly discussed exactly how they're connected, but readers can read between the lines and figure it out a little bit along the way. So definitely written for a mature audience. Young adults will find this to be a little bit more accessible than younger kids. Not a whole lot of weight space, and the text is fairly small. And also there are some potentially triggering subject matter in here, some gun violence, some racial violence, some police violence as well. So it's definitely not a light book, but it does examine some things from really unique perspectives. Also, at the end, there's a lot of discussion of the more challenging subject matter within the book. So if you have a book club or a classroom reading this, you have a lot to connect with back there as well. So the story itself moves fairly quickly, definitely more about the character development than about specific plot arc. But as the characters are growing and learning about each other, readers are kind of given a window into their worlds. It's well written and focuses on a lot of aspects of society that aren't necessarily always discussed in books. So a lot of things to unpack and consider as you're reading the story. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it at your favorite bookstore.